a little bit beyond the hook point. Now we need some wire. I'm going to use brassy wire. It's a little bit thicker than the thinner wire. And I'm taking a piece long enough so that you can hold on to it. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, look at that. You can hold on to that.
Oh my, hey, you deal with that, Doug. Oh
Hey.
boy, the whole thing went.
That's the
Don't
only
let
trouble
that
with
happen.
the ultra wire is if you're not careful
Don't
with
let
it,
that
the
happen.
whole thing will spool.
That's a very springy
You're not the
wire.
only one.
This will wind up on the editing floor.
Yeah. Okay, next step, we tie in the wire. I'm going to wrap back towards what I'm going to call the starting point. I think in the flyer I said three hook eyes back. 3/4 of the way or thereabouts, you know, is enough. Now I'm going to take a decent length of floss, just so you have something to hold on to. Tie that in at the point that I just left off. And I'm going to leave it a little bit of a tag long enough that I can grab a hold of it to trim it.
Do you have to use floss? Can you just use orange thread?
You could use orange thread.
You know that they have the stretch thread? That works pretty well also.
Yeah, I like that.
In an orange.
I was just thinking about that this week to myself about
Okay, now
being
we're
true to the pattern.
gonna wrap back.
You know,
And
and if
this-
you really want to be true to the pattern, yeah, you'd use what they call for. Otherwise, you just substitute whatever you have that comes close to what you want to do.
You actually thought about that, huh?
I did.
Yeah. I've used the thinner wire, but it doesn't show up as much. Maybe if you use a different color other than gold, it would show up better. I'm going to wrap this now. It's essentially a double wrap. You don't have to do this, but I don't know, I like to do it, so I'm doing it. I'm going to tie this off. Trim off the floss. Did you get my wire back?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm getting it.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Good deal. All right.
I'll be here a week, but
Now
I'm
we're going
getting
to
it.
wrap, and I like to make the spacings, man, about 1/16 of an inch or thereabouts, maybe a little bit less. That kind of shows up nice.
That's April wire. Use it because it's so springy.
And that's
All right, Rich.
that's the first time this has happened to me. I mean, I've used I've
No,
made several
I had
flies.
that happen. The whole spool went. I just opened it up. It was bing.
Wow.
And I learned to
Cut
keep,
the wire.
keep your fingers on the spool when you take off the purple cap.
And notice I used the
It's lock and loaded.
the bottom part of the scissors, so I didn't damage the tips there. Okay, now we need a little dubbing so that we can make a thorax. If you noticed on the write-up that I did, number 6 comes in twice, only because I revised it. Richard caught my mistake and was kind enough to tell me. So we revised that write-up.
Yeah, the thorax allows the partridge to stay open rather than collapse on the,
Yeah.
kind of puffs it out a little bit.
Okay, and the feather, the partridge feather, we try to select one such that the fibers don't go too far beyond the bend. So, I don't like that one.
Like that bird's been picked over a couple of times.
It's been picked over quite a few times, yeah. Well, this may be a little short, but since I have it out, I'm going to use it.
That's what she said.
pick a,
It's the only one I got.
remember, you're on candid camera.
Hold on to that.
Okay, so then you want to grab a hold of the very tip of the feather and stroke the remaining fibers back.
Good thing you said feather. I had another line for that one.
Actually, I'm not crazy about this one, but I'll complete it this way. Now you want to tie this in at the junction between the fibers that you just pulled back and the tip of this. Make a few wraps. And then you want to trim off this little guy sticking out here. All right, get the thread out of the way, because we have a habit of cutting the thread oftentimes and then have to start over again.
You stripped off the fibers from one side of the feather?
The tip.
Okay.
There's still a few sticking down there, but hopefully it'll get covered over. Now we're going to grab the end, the stem of the feather, and wrap, stroking the fibers back towards the bend as we move around.
Do you put the concave side away from the eye or towards the eye, or it doesn't matter?
Concave down.
Towards the bend.
I suppose there's lots of other ways to do this. You can even tie it in so the tip is forward,
Thanks, Ed.
but and then you have to fold this back.
Still working on it.
Okay. So then you can fold it back over again. Well, we got most of the fibers there now. We can probably cut this guy off. I generally wind up trapping a few fibers.
Doesn't make you a bad guy.
You know. And I like you can also substitute other materials, like you can use a hen hackle of any color you like. Only thing I find with the hen hackle is that for this kind of wrap, I like to strip the fibers off of one side completely. And I don't know, it just looks like it comes out better that way.
You didn't do that this time, though, right?
No, not with the partridge. The partridge, you can put it on full.
And how do you fish this fly?
In the water.
Very good.
Down and across and let it swing.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, we're gonna.
And at the swing, you give it a couple of seconds just to lay there in the current and flutter, and that's usually when they gotta pick it up.
Sometimes on the pickup.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah, as soon as you lift it, they want to come.
You can fish this a whole host of ways. You can toss it out, let it drift down, twitch it while it's drifting. You can strip it back quickly. You can strip it back slowly. You know, if you're not getting hits on the fly, you try all kinds of things.
And you have it.
Yeah, and I have.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. Okay, we're going to whip finish we build up a little head. How come you didn't say anything, Doug?
I was thinking beer.
Okay, we're going to whip finish 3 turns there. We're going to do this twice.
What was that movie with a guy was sitting there with a little tiny head? You can tell.
Oh, yeah.
Beetlejuice? Is that it?